Welcome back to Jyoti Hydroponics Farm videos. Let's get started to get better at farming. In our previous session, we had learned about all the meters that we actually require in our hydroponic system. Now here, we would be talking about the power that is required for plants. What actually power is? Power is actually photosynthetically active radiation. That means the light that is actually taken by plants for photosynthesis process. So the amount of power plants require depends on what you are growing as well as how far away from your plants the light is. Generally speaking, leafy greens like lettuce, basil, kale need a power value of around 200, whereas tomatoes, cucumbers, capsicum, or any other plant that actually gives flower and produce fruits require 400 to 700 power for their growth. Now here, I'll just show you a video here that would give us the clear picture about what actually this power light does to our plants. Now, as you can see here on the screen, there are a lot many leaves here of coriander. This is just an image here so you get the information. The plants actually are in the light and they are giving us a green color. Now, does anybody know why plant gives a green color? The only reason why it gives green color is because it absorbs all the light but is not able to absorb green light. It just simply reflects a green light, and that's the reason why we get this green color on the plant leaves. So I'll just play the video here. Now we would be just talking about the photosynthesis process here because power is actually required for our photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis process, roots actually take water, plants take carbon dioxide from the air, and as you can see here, when plants root actually take water and leaves actually take carbon dioxide, then light plays a very important role to break this carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates. That's the reason why this power is very much required for the plants. Now what are these pigments? These pigments are actually chlorophyll. These chlorophyll actually absorbs sunlight, and this sunlight is actually converted to electron and is passed from one chlorophyll to other, then to other, and then finally it actually combines with carbon dioxide and water to actually break it into carbohydrate. I'll just show you here how it does. Now chlorophyll absorbs the solar energy. The solar energy is converted to electron. This electron actually passes from one chlorophyll to other, then to other, and then it combines with carbon dioxide and water and finally makes a product called carbohydrates. We will just switch on to our next slide here. This slide is all about light wavelength and its effect on plants. Now, as you can see here, any spectrum of light that is between 280 to 315, it's termed as UV, that is ultraviolet. It actually bleaches color, gives sunburn, and also actually it's the main cause of fungus sporulation that actually produces fungus on the leaves or on the roots of the plants. This spectrum of light that is between 280 to 315, it's not at all good for plants. Then comes 315 to 400. That is also known as ultraviolet blue. This is actually slightly absorbed by the chlorophyll and it gives sunburn and also stimulates fungus sporulation. So I would rather suggest even this spectrum is not good for the plants, but it's still acceptable. But I won't suggest go with 315 to 400. Never go with this. Then next comes that is 400 to 520, which is actually termed as blue, and this is high absorption by chlorophyll. And in this spectrum of light that is 400 to 520, the plant has maximum photosynthesis process. Always make sure that The power that you're getting, if it's between 400 to 520, then it's a lottery for your plant. Actually, it would give you a very high growth, high yield of fruits and veggies. So everything is in like, even it's a lottery for the farmers and for the plants both. Now next comes 520 to 610. This is termed as green. It is actually low absorption by the pigments because chlorophyll doesn't absorb green color. Leaves doesn't absorb green color. So there is no photosynthesis in this process. Now next comes 610 to 750. This is actually red. Low absorption by chlorophyll. And as it has a low absorption by chlorophyll, there is no photosynthesis process in this. Now next comes is 750 to 1000. This is far red. It is again with the low absorption, stimulation of cell elongation, germination and flowering. So any range between 750 to 1000 actually affects the germination and flowering. So please make sure that your plants never get 750 to 1000. And the last one is 1000 plus. That is actually the infrared, and that is very, very hot. So not recommended at all, because that would just simply burn your plant. So the best wavelength that is actually required for the plants, that is from 400 to 610, but is acceptable till 700. So make sure the power meter that you are getting, it should always be monitored very carefully so that our plants gets only a spectrum of light starting from 400 to 700 max, not above that or not below 400. So this would have given you a pretty good information about actually the light that we require for our plants to actually produce fruits and vegetables. I hope this would have been a very good informative session for you all. We will be meeting in our next session. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.